She thinks politicians should make minimum wage. Let's see what she has to say in more detail, and then I'll give my thoughts as we go along.
So when I was in high school, I wrote a paper arguing that if politicians had to live on minimum wage for just 1 year, policy in America would change overnight. For context, when I was in high school, when I wrote this paper, I was literally working 2 jobs while going to school. I remember being exhausted all the time, trying to balance work, school, home, transportation, responsibilities. Um, and there were actively grown adults in government arguing about whether or not kids like me deserved free lunch. And that stuck with me for years because I feel like it perfectly summarizes how disconnected some of these people are from real life. You have politicians that are making 6 figures arguing over whether or not struggling teenagers deserve to eat lunch at school. Not luxury, not vacations, not handouts, food. Because a lot of American legislation feels incredibly tone deaf. And I think part of the reason is because many of the people making these decisions have never experienced real financial struggle a day in their lives. A lot of them come from generational wealth, elite schools, family connections, old money, corporate backgrounds. Like, some of these people have literally never had to worry about their rent, never even rented, never had their electricity almost shut off, never skipped meals, never had to choose between groceries and gas, never experienced the exhaustion of living paycheck to paycheck. Yet they are the same people deciding minimum wage, healthcare access, housing policy, food assistance, student debt, maternity leave, and what poor people supposedly need to do better. And then people wonder why these policies feel so disconnected, because how can you properly solve a problem that you have never personally experienced? It's like me saying, oh, I've never struggled with addiction a day in my life, but I want to be in charge of the national addiction recovery programs. You can study something, you can read statistics, you can observe suffering from the outside, but lived experience matters. And
That is true. Lived experience does matter. And one of the things I was going to say from the very beginning, once you said politicians, if they earn minimum wage for a year, things would be different. They need experience, right? So the one thing I've always said about politicians running companies, not running companies, running governments, is they don't have any real life experience. If you have real world experience running a business, running something and doing it well, this is why I've always believed there should be more business people in politics. It shouldn't just be people that come from Ivy League schools who have no real world experience, in many cases, managing what we do with our finances.